Talking Movies.
10 Best Action Movies from the Golden Age of Hollywood. Hundreds of action movies came out of Hollywood's Golden Age. Some were better than most. The Golden Age of Hollywood was an era of experimentation, with actors, directors and producers tossing everything into a pan to see what recipe will be the most palatable. The result being the era that had some of the best and worst movies of all time. Among the genres that benefited the most from this was the action genre. This selection is based on available online ratings, not a personal opinion. The action genre has evolved thanks, in part, to advances in technology. Many movies from the first half of the 20th century have aged well. If you like this video, take a look at my channel for many more. The link is in the description. Apologies for any mispronunciation of names. For those who watch till the end, I have something for you. Here we go. Stagecoach, 1939. A saloon girl, a drunken doctor, a gambler, and an outlaw struggle for their lives travelling through Apache territory while a major tribal war is going on. Each must devise creative ways to survive. The movie's subject matter hasn't aged well, relying on stereotypes and glorifying the tragedies of colonialism. It was said that the film's attitudes towards Native Americans was unenlightened. But in terms of its rating, it's the cinematography that stands out, with magnificent shots of Monument Valley, creating a feeling of paradise. The outlaw, the Ringo Kid, John Wayne, gives a performance good enough to ensure his Hollywood future. After this movie's release, he became a Hollywood A-list actor, but not the only star. The rest of the cast all impressed while bringing out emotions of their characters. Angels with Dirty Faces, 1938. Two childhood friends, Rocky and Jerry, take different paths in life when they grow up. Rocky becomes a mobster, while Jerry a priest. Soon they clash, since Jerry wants to prevent the neighborhood's youth from falling into crime. From the beginning, it's obvious that the movie is carried by the chemistry between Rocky, Cagney, and Jerry, Pat O'Brien. They appear in 9 movies together, an action-packed gangster masterpiece, from car chases to long rifles to witty dialogue. The movie would inspire one of the funniest scenes in Home Alone, where Kevin McAllister plays a fake flick named Angels with Dirty Souls to scare burglars trying to break into his house. The Searchers, 1956. Civil War veteran Ethan Edwards, John Wayne, returns to his frontier home after 3 years, only for his family to be attacked shortly after. The attackers kill his brother and flee with his niece. Ethan saddles up and goes after them. Little did he know that the search would take 7 years. The thing about The Searchers is the tension is constant through most of the running time. It's another movie that's not without its problems. Race relations are deeply explored. Described. The Wayne character was racist without apology. For a hero, he isn't portrayed as totally good either, since it's constantly implied that he is in love with his brother's wife and that his niece might actually be his daughter. The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938. Tired of Prince John's tyrannical reign, Saxon knight Robin of Locksley works to destabilize his regime. Part of his plan involves stealing from John's elite friends. After many Robin Hood movies over the years, none has ever quite managed to live up to the standards set by this classic that helped popularize the swashbuckler subgenre. The script doesn't restrict itself to sword fights and archery. It added romance and humor as well. An all-around entertaining movie. The Maltese Falcon, an adaptation of crime writer Dashiell Hammett's popular noir book of the same name, The Maltese Falcon, was an early example of what film noir would grow from. It follows hard-boiled private detective Sam Spade as he goes off on his cynical journey to retrieve a priceless falcon statue. What follows is a tale of deception, betrayal, and dramatic deaths. The film was meticulously shot, even for today's standards, and the director fought to include material against the then-current Hays Code of filmmaking, such as drinking, which he felt added to the character's authenticity. All Quiet on the Western Front, 1930. Paul Bäumer, a German student, is cajoled into signing up as a soldier and fighting for his country in World War I. The merciless onslaught of slaughter that he experiences on the battlefield quickly quells any patriotic fervour he had, leaving him a shell-shocked soldier on the brink. The first Best Picture Oscar winner lays the template for most of the subsequent productions that are considered the best anti-war movies of all time, with all the necessary components for movies of its kind, including the transition from excitement to despair, the usual word of advice from someone who has been there longer, and a vow to never fight again. The General, 1926. Inspired by the Civil War military raid known as the Great Locomotive Chase, The General follows Confederate railroad engineer Johnny Gray as he pursues Union soldiers who have not only taken the love of his life, but his favourite train too. This Buster Keaton classic is one of the first to prove that initial critical reception can be wrong. Initially considered mediocre, the movie after re-evaluation now sits close to the apex of cinematic masterpieces. And with good reason. Enough time is allocated to the chase sequences, leaving the viewer more than satisfied. Also a perfect blend of action and romance. The stunts are inventive and leave the viewer fearing for the life of the star. That said, the movie is also largely viewed as a skewed version of history that favoured the Confederacy. Nevertheless, the riskiness of it all is what makes The General worthwhile viewing for action movie fans. The Bridge on the River Kwai, 1957. A British POW, Colonel Nicholson, Alec Guinness, is forced to build a bridge for the Japanese. Soon, an escaped American officer, William Holden, returns, looking to blow up the bridge. Besides the explosions and the bullets, the dialogue is riveting. Actor Jack Hawkins gives a performance of his life as Nicholson. There is hardly a hole in the plot, mostly because the director sticks to the events that actually happened in real life, and who can't remember that whistling tune? The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. Friends, Dobbs, Humphrey Bogart, and Bob Curtin, Tim Holt, are accompanied by elderly prospector Howard as they head to Mexico in search of gold. Soon, they strike a vein. Then they start doubting each other's intentions, and the seeds of discord start to grow. Between numerous gunfights, the Treasure of the Sierra Madre uses humour and suspense. Greed becomes a recurring theme, and there's the constant reminder that no one can be trusted. A confirmation of the movie's brilliance is in its accolades. Both the director John Huston and his father, who played Howard, took home Oscars on the same night, becoming the first ever winners from the same family. North by Northwest, 1959. Martini-loving ad executive Roger Thornhill, Cary Grant, is left with no choice but to go on the run when he is mistaken for a spy. Behind the conspiracy is one of the best ever Hitchcock villains, Philip Van Damme, with Thornhill looking a lot like Agent 007 as he gets shot at from pursuing aircraft and runs across the famous presidential statues of Mount Rushmore. And just as there are Bond girls, there is an alluring Thornhill girl too, who might not be who she appears to be. The twists keep coming as fast as the bullets do, making the Hitchcock flick an unforgettable ride. Thanks for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate likes, shares and subscribers. Don't forget to hit the notification button to get my new videos. Drop me your comments. Bye for now. See you again soon.